Yeah, all good. All good. Just going for a nice, peaceful walk this evening and going to do a session in an hour or so with the Australasian Soccer Academy over Zoom on mental performance and well-being session over Zoom. So nearly 9-ish here and roughly in about, say, 40 minutes or so, going to do a session with the Australasian Soccer Academy players over Zoom. But yeah, I was doing a bit of reflecting, sort of thinking, going for the walk, and my thoughts were around in football how, as a player, players can make one mistake and that can quickly become a cycle. So, for example, they might miscontrol a pass or try hit a shot on target and miscue the ball, or even a goalkeeping error. They might sort of drop the ball. And in my experience of working with individual players and teams over many years, I sort of began to realise that for me, the ability to sort of refocus, to start over again. So I suppose you can look at, say, one mistake is like a bass thread, and if you sort of keep pulling at it, and all of a sudden the whole thing unravels, really. So the performance really unravels, really. So you get stuck in that cycle. And I think for me, I'm not here to give advice or making the suggestions. It's more about anecdotally my own sort of learnings. And I think for me, breaking the cycle is almost like having a timeout and sort of resetting your focus. And that could be through like self-talk, a word, an action, maybe a cue like clapping hands together or flicking a wristband, or whatever really is applicable and appropriate. Having a deep breath or some breathing exercises, but scanning around as well. I think sort of scanning a mental picture too, using cue words. So I don't sort of think one thing's going to work for everybody. It's sort of practicing in training a range of methods to sort of to refocus. But the feedback that I've had over the years that generally work really well is like a cue, scanning, an action word, because I think at that point it's about doing something to sort of get yourself back in the game, another action to get back in the game, because obviously you can go from sort of like miscontrolling a pass to then miscontrolling another pass, or a poor attempt at the clearance, and all of a sudden in that sort of cycle, and player stops showing for the ball or starts to withdraw from the game, and obviously might come to have a shot at goal, or for a keeper to come out and catch the ball, and it's easy to sort of start to withdraw and try and withdraw from the game. For me, it's about trying to get back into the game, and maybe starting with a basic, but even before starting with sort of a basic element of the game, taking time, maybe the ball goes out of play or the stoppage in play, or even during play if you're out of the game, just have a scan, look around, maybe a deep breath, like a cue, for example, clap of the hands, cue, next action, refocus, get back in the game and pick up from there. But that's my take on it. You might see it differently. Everyone's got their own, ideas, and it's always great to hear different ideas.